Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. You hear me okay? Yep.
Check 1, 2, 1, 2.
All right.
Australia, number 21, Braden Ioli. And starting at center tonight for the Knights, a 6'8" junior from Malibu, California, number 30, Leo B. The Fighting Knights are coached by...
Good evening, folks. Welcome to Flagler College. This is the Clark Family Court at the Flagler College Gymnasium. We're live in St. Augustine. My name is John Phillips. I got Coach Joe Harding with me. We got some men's basketball tonight and another non-conference matchup. The Saints will entertain another Sunshine State Conference opponent. Tonight it's the Lynn University Fighting Knights. The Fighting Knights join us from Boca Raton, Florida. Second consecutive matchup for the Saints against an SSC foe. Most recently, they faced Embry-Riddle on the road last week and now return home with a 3-1 record and take on Lynn, who is currently 1-0. And we were talking about this a little bit before we came on the air. Lynn has only played one game. It was against St. Thomas University, which is an NAIA opponent, and it was about 10 days ago. So I don't know if that's an advantage or a disadvantage, Coach. You might be fresher because you haven't played in a while. But at this point in the year, you're probably looking for a little more experience. And I think Coach Sellen's ball club, with 4 games under their belt, might have a slight advantage in that area tonight.
Well, I would definitely say yes, especially where Coach Sellen has been working few players in and out, different combinations on the floor, starting to get a feel of which groups perform well. The game that you just mentioned against Embry-Riddle last week, they didn't get off to the first half. It was an away game, the way they would like to. Had a 12-point deficit at halftime. Made a couple of runs in the second half, as we spoke before the game, but they could never really get back into it and ended up losing. But the stats in the second half, they didn't. The first half, 3-point shooting was definitely not where they normally go. Second half, they shot 50% from 3 and played well inside.
Yep. Let's meet the starters for Lynn. They're going to be wearing the blue uniforms tonight with the white numbers. Starting lineup will have Osei Price, a 6'5" senior out of Montverde. Very good basketball program over there at the Montverde Academy. A lot of folks are familiar with that. He is a transfer from Oakland University, a Division I school in Michigan. He's joined out there by Carson Smith, a grad transfer from Northern Michigan, 6'1", 175. He calls Menominee Falls, Wisconsin home. Also in the starting lineup for Lynn, Antoine Jacks. He'll be the point guard out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, senior, 5'10" and 165, also a transfer from Southern University. Also in the starting lineup for Lynn, Braden Ioli, a 6'3", 240-pound junior from Perth, Australia. And finally, their leading scorer, again, one game, but 32 points in that game by Leo Beath, a 6'8", 210-pounder from Malibu, California, also a Division I transfer from Florida Atlantic. Saints will run their same 5 out there that we've seen for the season thus far. Pound it inside to Jalen Jordan, kick it out to Balknight for a triple, and that's exactly what the Saints want to start the ball game. Pound it in, kick it out, and an early 3-0 lead. Beath down low, puts up a forced shot. It's no good, well defended. And here come the Saints looking to add to their lead. Balknight in transition. Gets slowed down briefly, and he'll get into the half-court set. Just 30 seconds in, Saints up 3-0. Here's Jordan, defended by Beath, rips through, drives and kicks. Herdlicka handled it briefly, then lost it. Back to Jalen Jordan inside, looks for a cutter cross-court, throws it over his head, but it's picked up by the Saints. A step-back 3 ball is good, and back-to-back triples. That is Hoku Fisher.
Well,
6-0 Saints.
That's the way we wanted to start the game. Patient offense, some really good inside-out passing.
2 possessions, 6 points. Can't be more efficient. A runner the other way is converted by Iuli. He got a hip around the corner on Destin Clark. An easy bucket there, makes it 6-2. Saints back the other way. Clark rips through, gets a smaller defender on him. He'll go in and get it poked away. Beath ends up with it. He'll go 2-on-2 in transition, and Balknight will bump him in the midcourt area to slow him down. Very much of a mismatch in size there. The point guard, Antoine Jacks, 5'10", 165. against Destin Clark, 6'3" and 210. But Jack's able to poke it away and get a steal in transition for the Fighting Knights. Here's Beef with a little runner inside. He turned the corner with a pump fake, and 4 straight quick ones here for the Fighting Knights makes it 6-4.
A little bit of lapse of concentration there. We turned our head on the inbound, and Beef got the hip and shoulders past his man. Easy lay-in.
Here's Clark on the right-hand wing. He'll put up a 3-ball. In and out, unlucky that time, and here comes Lynn the other direction. Chance to tie the ball game. Off for a 3-ball that'll give him the lead. It's in and out, no good, but a rebound picked up, kicked out for another triple, and that one's also off the mark. Back-to-back misses there by Carson Smith, and the Saints dodge 2 bullets. Here's Herdlicka, dribble drive inside, turns the corner with the left hand off the window and good. Good decision. Once he got the hip around the defender, keep right on going. You can't stop me unless you foul me at that point. 3-ball is good the other way for the point guard, Antoine Jacks. And Jacks works against Balknight. This is a heck of a matchup right here. Balknight goes in, still working, dribbled it off his foot. We're going to get a foul before he dribbled it off his own foot. The reason he dribbled it off his foot is Jacks got a little too handsy.
Yeah, he was really using his body and getting into Jackson's verticality. He did it on the first move, and then he did it again, and the ref said no.
Hoku Fisher, a catch-and-shoot triple. He's got 2 quick ones. Really started the season slowly on the perimeter, but he's picked it up. Dish it down low, poked away. Good little finger poke away, and here come the Saints the other way. No numbers for Balknight. He's 1 on 4. A trailer 3-ball from Herdlicka is good, though. Hey, when there's no numbers, find the trailer.
Now, that was from downtown at the hash mark in front of the Lynn's head coach.
Saints 14-7. Crowd getting involved in the game with a defense chant. 3-ball is going to be short. Rebound loose on the court, and I think Lynn touched it last. The referee agrees with me. Saints will have it with all the momentum right here. It was 8-7 seeming like a minute ago, or maybe less. And now it's 14-7 on back-to-back 3-balls.
Your point is well taken, Sean. Hoku has a smoothness and a confidence that has come from playing in 5 games already. He is on right now.
Destin Clark adds to the Saints total with a strong move inside. Kick it out for 3 more. That one's off the mark. Again, another miss by Carson Smith. Clark going in strong off the window. A little too strong. Rebound to Beef. He'll come the other way quickly. Take it in, poked away, and last touch by the Saints. Almost touched there by Carson Smith. As the ball was rolling across the floor, he was out of bounds. If it just could have made contact with him before going out of bounds, the Saints would have ended up with the ball, but instead it rolled out untouched by the Lynn player, and they'll retain the possession. Into Ayuli. Had some space briefly off to Jacks for 3, and it's good. Antoine Jacks. Not much of a scorer in the first game with just 4 points, but he's proven his worth offensively early tonight. He's got 6 on 2 triples. Fisher, a nice strong take to the basket. Everybody thought about him being a 3-point shooter, so they came flying at him. He gave a pump fake and a dribble drive.
That was really smooth.
Here's Jacks going in, looking cross court, poked away, but the Fighting Knights are there to pick up a loose ball on the floor. Beef going to work in against Herdlicka, and good strong take that time. He got deep enough, and he's got enough length and athleticism to bank that one off the backboard at home.
He's got a deceptively quick first step.
And Herdlicka got caught in the midair that time and traveled. Yeah, he really does. For 6'8" and 210 pounds. Very athletic, and this is going to be a fun game, Coach. We've only played less than 5 minutes. It's already 18-12. We're on pace for an offensive juggernaut, and both teams, quite honestly, doing really well offensively. This is going to be a fun game.
The ball movement has been exceptional. The patience, nobody's making rash, impetuous moves to the basket. When we opened up, they put it down inside to Jalen Jordan. Lynn doubled him. He looked left, he looked up top, and then he fired it over the baseline to Jacks, who promptly buried it. So right now I'm thinking Flagler is shooting about 70% from three-point land.
Yeah, we got 4 3-pointers already tonight. Made the first 2, then had a couple of traditional 2-pointers, and then had another 2 quick threes there. So 4 3-pointers already, accounting for 12 of our 18 points here in the early stages. Saints lead at 18-12, 15-15 to go here first half. It's been a fun one so far. Again, the Lynn Fighting Knights, we talked about their starting lineup. And again, through one game, Jose Price, the transfer from Oakland University, 14 points in that game. Carson Smith had 11. Beat had 32, as we mentioned. Antoine Jacks, who already had 6, only had 4, but did have 7 assists in that game. And then Ayuli had 8 points in that game. So they're off to a good start. They can certainly score the basketball. And they're going to go to the bench here and get Austin Vick in the game, one of their few returning players, 6'8" and 230 from St. Albans, Missouri. Here's Ayuli going in against Herdlicka, and his runner is up and through. 18-14, a 4-point game. Saints have the same 5 out there with the exception of Boom Reeves and Mason Manning into the game. Here's Herdlicka from 3. It's good. Everybody's shooting the ball tonight.
Wow.
Herdlicka and Hoku Fisher both got off to a slow start on the season, but both have hit a couple of triples. There's an air ball. Good hustle by Beats, but he saves it over to Herdlicka. Here come the Saints. If they push, they can go 5-on-4. They do. They go to Manning. Trail back to Herdlicka. Catch, shoot, triple. A little too quick that time, but Reeves able to tap the rebound out to Hoku Fisher. Fisher tried to create nothing there. Skip pass. Herdlicka wide open this time, and that one's good. His 3rd triple.
Oh, he is looking confident tonight.
First 3 ball that possession, he was well defended. That next one there, he was wide open. Here comes Ayuli down, drops it off here for a little baby hook that's off the heel, no good. Rebound Saints. Hoku going to kick it over to Herdlicka. Pump fake, step back, 3 ball. Let's get another one. No, unlucky that time. Rebound pulled down by Vick. Here comes Price off the ball screen, gets to the elbow and kicks. Ayuli left side 3. All the way around, no good. Quick rebound there by Manning, finds Fisher. Knights do a good job getting back quickly this time. Fisher drives through and kicks. Swing it to Bach Knight. 3 ball top of the circle. Off the heel that time. Bach Knight's been shooting it well. He's 59% on 3-pointers this year coming in, but unlucky that time. Here's another 3 for Lynn, and that one is good from Osei Price. Price, again, the transfer from Oakland University. You may recognize that name. They beat Kentucky in the first round of the NCAA tournament, one of the many upsets we've seen the last few years in the NCAA March Madness. When a school like Oakland, and nothing against Oakland University, beats the blue blood of Kentucky, that's madness. 24-17.
If I remember correctly, too, John, they had a strong inside forward who was the son of the coach, and those guys had played together for 3 or 4 years. So they were a well-balanced team, and as you said, on any given night, you get a team down, and Kentucky didn't have the offense to catch up.
You know, and that's exactly what's happened in the ever-changing world of intercollegiate athletics, especially at the Division I level. You get a school like Oakland where kids aren't transferring in and out in the portal and all that stuff, and so they get to play a lot together and grow a lot together. Kentucky, for better or for worse, has become home of the one and done sometimes with the NBA draft, and so sometimes the better franchise, and I'm going to call it a franchise intentionally, of Kentucky can get knocked off by the Oaklands of the world.
Absolutely.
Those guys play together for 4 or 5 years. Kentucky guys are rotating in and out every year, and stranger things have happened. A couple of free throws there from the Saints. Outstanding freshman Josiah Shackelford. Lynn back the other way. They don't appear to be too patient. I'm not saying that in a bad way. They are taking the quick shot when they can find it, and they find another one. Antoine Jacks has got his 3rd triple. They got an open green light to shoot it, and Shackelford took an extra step there. Kind of got caught in between there. Thought he was going to pass it right, decided to pass it left, and unfortunately took an extra drag of the pivot foot before he got rid of it. 26-20. On pace for well over 100 points tonight. There's another 3 ball, and there's another 3 points. Antoine Jacks.
Well, they're going to have to change their defense up a little bit. Deny him the ball for temporarily until they could cool him off.
Around the horn, good ball movement by the Saints, working against the zone. Penetrate and kick it. One more pass, now they'll go to Shackelford. Pump fake, splits 2, tries to drop it for Balknight, and it was kicked, I believe, by one of the Lynn players. So it'll stay with the Saints, but we'll go to the under 12 media before we get the ball back. Under 12, exactly 11:55 to be exact. It's 26-23. We're on pace for about a 110-105 ball game tonight at this pace, and that would be fun. The Saints lead it by 3. Let's look at the numbers here for both teams. They're shooting it. I think both sides are probably over 50% overall. Shooting the ball incredibly well right now, and that's the reason we've got so many points here in the early stages. 26-23 is the score. Saints are 64% from the field. Lynn is 53% from the field. Saints are 6 out of 10 from 3 for 60%. Lynn is 5 out of 11 for 45%. So that one 3-pointer basically is the difference. We made one more than them.
Yep.
We're up by 3 points, 26-23. Both teams shooting it well. Nobody's really fouling anybody. Each team only has one foul. 2 fouls, 2 fouls for Lynn, 1 foul for Flagler. So we're just getting up and down the floor and knocking home some jumpers right now.
Well, I think when Coach Sullen puts Destin Clark and Jalen Jordan back in, I think you're going to see a little more emphasis on getting the ball inside. Currently, Lynn has their big scorer from the first game on the bench, but as you pointed out, the point guard, Jackson, he can't miss right now.
Yeah. And that's the disadvantage of them only playing one game. He's got 4 points in that one game.
Exactly.
And so if you just go off of one game, all right, maybe we don't need to guard that guy. All right, we got to change that game plan. He's 4 for 4 tonight and has 12 points. There's Shackelford. He's open for 3, and he'll hit it.
Nothing but net. Really good, smooth-looking shot.
He's really come around. That we knew he was going to be an outstanding young player. Little maybe nervous in his first game or two, but ever since, boy, Shackelford's been coming on stronger every game. And we get a travel or a charge? Oh, I think we're going to get a block. Thought he got out of control and lost his balance there and basically ran into the Saints player, but they'll call the blocking foul on Flagler. It'll stay with Lynn.
That's such a fraction of a call. It could have gone either way.
Ball deflected coming in downs there by Balknight. It'll stay with Antoine Jacks. We talked about the point guard versus point guard matchup, and this is a great one. 2 great point guards, Jacks and Balknight. They're going toe-to-toe tonight. 20 on the shot clock after the foul against Flagler, so plenty of time here for Lynn. They got a partial reset. Actually, put it to 19 because Balknight did touch the ball there. Hand it off to Jacks down low, runner up, and Balknight took a late swing at him and didn't get anything but body, and so it's going to give a basket and 1 opportunity here for Antoine Jacks.
They executed that inbound absolutely perfectly, and Jacks is lightning quick on that first step. As soon as he turned the corner, you knew they were in trouble.
Yeah, he is a dangerous player. Outstanding high school program that he came out of. He's from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, but went to Good Counsel High School, which is one of the stronger private high schools in the Washington, D.C. area where I happen to grow up. And they play in an outstanding league. And he had great competition. And there's some competition for Shackelford, who knocks down another 3-ball. We'll talk more about Good Counsel High School and Antoine Jacks here in a minute. But the Saints have gone up 7 on another 3-pointer. Here's Ioli going to go baseline to a double team. Kick it cross court to Jacks. He finally does miss one, proves he is human. And here come the Saints the other way. Manning's got it from Shackelford. Trail it back to Josiah, who loses the handle, but the Saints clean it up. Now they'll slow it down and get into the half court. Down low, Jordan. Leans, left hand, off the window, too strong. Here comes the rebound picked up there by Vic. They race the other way. Jacks creating again, drops it off to a teammate. Ioli rattles it home.
That's a pretty tough tandem between Jacks and Ioli.
Shackelford going in, tried to throw a bounce pass. It was deflected, but picked up here by Smalls. They go around the horn. 4 out, 1 in right now. Smalls. Hoku Fisher gets past the defender but called for a foul. That's on Jax. It'll be his second. That might be the only thing to slow down Antoine Jax tonight. He's got 2 fouls. That's not a lot, but we're not even midway through the first half. So it could be a lot. And he'll go to the bench begrudgingly right now.
Well, absolutely. They can't afford to lose him.
Let's see what happens with this Lynn defense with him on the bench.
He's got 50% of their scoring, so.
Shackelford takes it strong but got fouled. Thought he was going to convert a layup. Instead, the leading scorer, Leo Beef, got in there and got a piece of him. And Shackelford will have a chance to shoot some free throws.
And I like that right now. The Lynn defense is playing some sort of 32 zone, and they're extended. So now we're getting some backdoor passes, going to the hoop and getting fouled, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, you can't just keep shooting threes over top of the zone. Sometimes that works, but you can't do it all the time. And the Saints have found those seams, those diagonal cuts. Shackelford's got 8 points here in the first half. Here's Iuli working against the Saints defense. Goes all the way around, turns the corner, and takes it to the hoop.
He is a deceptively strong player.
There's a runner off the left side, partially blocked from behind by Beef. Here come the Knights the other way. Trail it back for a three-pointer. And that one is good for Carson Smith. I think he started 0 for 4 to start the game, but he knocks that one down. It's the transfer from Northern Michigan. All 5 starters, Division I transfers for Lynn. Clark turns the corner, takes it right into Iuli, and he'll stick it home.
That's the Destin Clark we know.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Division II guys that are going to stop that shot right there. And nicely done there by Carson Smith. He got that three-pointer last possession. Now he got a little bit of momentum. And they're going to wave off the basket and say, no, he was fouled on the floor, much to his dismay right now. Still a foul, but it could have been a basket and one. Instead, it's just a possession for Lynn here. No basket.
I think that's the one adjustment our defense is going to have to make. They're underestimating Lynn's ability on that first step.
There's Iuli for a 3-ball. He can turn the corner and drive. He can step out and 3. And he knocks it home. Here's Herdlicka. Over to Clark. Defended quite well. Looks back door. Nobody there. Still dribbling. Into Iuli. Finds a cutter in Shackelford and lays it home. Nice job there.
Really good looking play.
Lynn back the other way. And Hoku Fisher. I thought he picked his pocket. And they didn't call a foul on Fisher, so maybe my observation was correct. I just didn't see Max Herdlicka, what he did. And so that's who got called for the foul on the Saints.
Well, I just said it a minute ago. The Flagler defense has got to start staying in front of these ball handlers. They are quick, and they have now made 3 or 4 straight drives and either come away with a layup or go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and that's where they're going right now. Osei Price will be the shooter. 14 points and 8 rebounds in that first game against St. Thomas. And the free throw is good to make it 38-36. Plenty of scoring so far tonight by both teams. It's been a fun game to watch and fun to be part of. Still a lot of basketball left. We're not even 12 minutes into the game yet. And Price makes both free throws. J.P. Barron checks out of the Lynn lineup, and Isaiah Davis will get in there. He's a transfer from Bismarck State. Fisher will go to the point guard spot and bring it front court. Drops it off for Clark. Hand off to Manning. Back to Clark, left wing. Trying to back in, take advantage of his size. He does just that. Gets all the way to the rack and rattles it in there. Clark pushes it back to a 3-point lead for Flagler. Ball poked away, and it's picked up by Beef. Might have got away with a double dribble there. Kicks it out for a 3-ball, and it's no good. Ball doesn't lie. The Saints end up with it. Herdlicka in transition. Bounce pass, Hoku Fisher. Pump fake, wrap around, back to Herdlicka. 3-ball, too strong. Clark's there for the rebound, though. Pump fake, back up, rejected from behind. Swinging around. Shackelford's coming in. He'll float. He'll get bumped hard, but no foul called. Here comes Lynn the other way.
Yeah, that one was definitely questionable.
Iulia wraparound pass for 3. And it is good from Carson Smith. He's gotten hot in the last few seconds here. He started off cold, but he's knocked a bunch of them down recently, and it's a 40-40. All tied up here in St. Augustine. Herdlicka post feed to Clark. Pump fake, lean, didn't get it there. Rebound picked up by Beef. Beef coming the other way. Finds Osei Price. Takes it in, kicks it out to Beef. Top of the circle, 3-ball. Too strong. Rebound picked up by Mason Manning. He'll slow it down. Everybody getting a little winded here. This pace has been frenetic, and both teams looking to catch their breath a little bit. The under 8 media timeouts coming here momentarily. The next dead ball. Shackelford a pump fake from 3. Couldn't get it off in time. Now he will. And he'll knock it down. Josiah Shackelford goes to double figures. And the Saints go up by 3. Lynn's going to answer back. 3 of their own. Not this time, but picks up an offensive rebound. Beef takes it in, hangs, and finishes inside. Back to a 1-point game.
Well, at his 6'8", he's got an incredible talent to hang up there. 2 different Flagler players tried to bat the ball away, and then he just laid it in softly off the glass.
Herdlicka looking for a helper. Dribbles cross court, leans, fades away, a little short. Rebound picked up by Iuli. Goes to Price. Got a trailer behind him. Good defense there by Manning. Iuli down the paint into a double team. Couldn't convert, but Sven Bergeson there to corral the rebound and put it back in. He did not play in the first game, so no information about Bergeson. He is 6'7" out of Reykjavik, Iceland. And Shackelford gets his shot blocked. Here come the Fighting Knights the other way. Swing it over this way to Beef. He's got pace down the lane, and he goes for the dunk. He doesn't get it. Hoku Fisher gets the rebound and saves it inbounds. He did get away with a travel there. Maybe that's why the dunk didn't go down. He got denied. It just wasn't meant to be. Then the Saints slow it down here. Fisher, left side Manning. Guarded by Iuli. Inside to Clark. Spins and finishes inside against Leo Beef. 45-44. It's a 1-point game.
That's what we like to see. That strong move inside.
Price backs down, gets well defended. Iuli's got space, working against Clark, and rattles it home.
Your closeout on Iuli has got to be absolutely fundamentally precise, or he's going by you.
Manning trying to get in there. It's a little 8-footer, a little too strong. Clark after the rebound, had it briefly and then lost it. And the Knights come out of there with it and then throw it out of bounds. Ferguson went running down court, and one of his teammates tried to throw it to him and hit him in the back of the head. It bounced into the Lynn bench. And we'll go to the under 8 media timeout. We're almost under 4. It's 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go. That's the pace we're playing at right now. This is technically the under 8 media timeout at the 4:04 mark, and it's 46-45. Lynn by 1 over Flagler.
And it seems like it was just 30 seconds ago when you mentioned that timeout was coming. And then, fortuitously, after a big scramble on the floor, they hit the Lynn player in the back of the head, and it went out of bounds. So we've got the clock stoppage and the timeout.
You know, I tell you, Coach, we talked about this before the game, and we were debating the advantage or disadvantage of only playing 1 game versus having played 4 in the case of the Saints. I think sometimes you've got, I'm not saying anybody out here isn't in good shape, but there's game shape. which is different than practice shape. And unless you've played the game or coached the game at a high level, it's hard to explain what that difference is. But game shape, I think, could play a big factor in the latter stages of this game tonight. And the depth that Flagler has may prove, although Lynn's got good depth, they keep rolling guys out there. But I think that may play to our advantage in the second half, especially with this pace.
And I believe also in the second half, the superior strength. I'm not saying that Lynn doesn't have any length, they do. But I believe Flagler has also been adjusting a couple of their shots inside, and they don't need to. They're getting in good position. And we haven't seen Jalen Jordan. No, he's come back in now for Destin, so he's going to get a run over the last
even the
4
minutes
minutes.
he's been in there, he hasn't done a whole lot yet. He hasn't really touched the ball.
Right.
But early on, he didn't need to because we were hitting every three-pointer we threw up there. So that's a whole nother phase of our game offensively that we haven't seen yet. And Jordan is a heck of a player. He's our leading scorer and leading rebounder at, where's his numbers here? 18.5 points per game and 12 rebounds per game. He's averaging a double-double. And as if on cue, he gets the basketball. And then they post feed him again. Backs down, spins with the left hand, just like that. As if we knew what was going on up here.
That's what we wanted to see. Beautiful little left-hand hook.
Lead back to the Saints, 47-46. Pump fake from three, drop it off here to the right baseline to Bergeson. He goes dribble cross court for a spin move that left short. Rebound fought for, comes to the Saints, and Trevor Smalls gets knocked to the floor, and the Saints will end up with the basketball. I believe that's Bergeson who ran into him unintentionally, but really just knocked him hard to the floor, and that'll take us to our under 4 media timeout, which comes pretty close to the under 8 because of the pace we're playing at. Does give us a chance to regroup here, 47-46. I do have to make one correction. I misspoke earlier. I said all 5 of Lynn's starters were Division I transfers. Technically, that is not correct. Braden Iuli is a transfer, but he came from Menlo College, which is not a Division I school. It's out in Northern California. His original home is Perth, Australia, but a transfer from Menlo College. The other starters out of Oakland and out of Southern and out of Northern Michigan and out of Florida Atlantic are all Division I transfers. Again, a brand new coach, Bill Morasco, who came from Indian River State College, one of the top junior college programs in the state of Florida. So an experienced coach, a veteran coach, moves from the 2-year school to the 4-year school, but he's no stranger to the Sunshine State Conference. He was the assistant at Lynn back, I want to say it was 18-19, I think. And I don't have that written down, so I'm off the top of my head. It was about 6 years ago. He was at Barry University working for Coach Butch Estes there. And I don't know if you know Coach Estes or not, but he's outstanding coach there, the men's team at Barry University in Miami Shores. Does a great job there in the Sunshine State Conference, and Coach Morasco was on his staff before going to Indian River.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, John. 10 new players. He certainly knows talent, and having been in the Florida junior college division, he's seen a lot of players come in and out, and that's an art to be able to handle when you only have a player for 2 years, and to be able to be successful, 20 wins at that level. Yeah,
player development has to come quickly at the 2-year school level. Here's Fisher with a pump fake, got some space, he'll take it in, and got the full 360 on the rim, couldn't get it to go, and here come the Knights the other way. Beath's got it in transition, cut off by Fisher. Back out to that Jordan Wilkins. Back to Beath. Beath backing down against Shackelford. Bit of a mismatch in size, but Shackelford does a great job to poke it away. Fisher 1-on-3. Who's trailing? He finds Smalls. Over to Jordan. And poked away. Last touch by Jalen Jordan. It'll go back to Lynn University. Jordan Wilkins is at the point guard spot. Where's number 1? He's also got Noah Catton with him out there. Catton, a returning player and a junior at the off guard spot. Here's Wilkins. Transfer from Winona State, a good Division II program in Minnesota. Here's Beath, got some space against Shackelford, loses his footing, and Shackelford gets another steal. Back-to-back steals for Shackelford. Here's Smalls, good pass around the horn to Manning. Back to Hoku Fisher, splits a double team and kicks to Shackelford. That is perfect right there.
Great
drive it deep, kick it out, swing it left, bury the triple. Saints by 4. Catton a step back three. In and out, no good. Jordan a big rebound.
Okay, with just under 2 minutes, let's see if the Saints can expand this 4-point lead over the end of the half.
Unlucky that time. Smalls got going a little too fast, trailed it back to Jordan, and Jordan caught it with his footwork out of sync, took an extra step there and trying to go too fast, and the Saints turn it over. 1:50 to go, so just under 2 minutes to play, 50-46. Thumbs up is the signal from Iuli. Gets a high ball screen. Shackelford fights through it. Iuli might have got away with a push there, and he rattles it home. Shackelford saying, hey, how about the push? No whistle. Shackelford to Hoku Fisher. Lynn playing zone. Shackelford working on the dribble for Fisher. A catch and shoot three ball. Off the mark, no good. Rebound picked up by Austin Vick. Vick to Carson Smith, the grad transfer who's hit a bunch of three balls. Works off the high ball screen, turns the corner to Iuli. Back over this way to Smith. Inside for a runner off the right side. It's good. And timeout taken by Coach Morosco. This is that use it or lose it timeout. So he'll burn it here with 1:07 to go. And we are all tied up at 50 apiece here with 67 seconds on the clock from St. Augustine.
And I see in that last defensive segment for the Saints, they have really been working to stay on their feet, stay down on those up fake, pump fakes. The offense that Lynn is running right now on the perimeter with the handoffs, and then the look at the basket, very enticing, very hard. Your brain wants to come up, but you've got to stay low and not let them get by. And as you pointed out, number 5,
Carson Smith.
He's a master at staying low and getting to the rim, especially being the shortest person on the court.
This is a tough offense that Lynn runs to defend. So Manning clears the timeline with exactly a minute. Fisher to Shackelford for three. Too strong that time. Rebound high in the air and saved in by the Knights. Good hustle there by both Beef and Carson Smith. Here's Iuli off a screen. For Smith, a long three ball. No good. Rebound Jalen Jordan. Harassed in the backcourt by Vick. He'll go to Fisher. Shot clock and game clock about 6-second differential. And again, on a made basket at the end of the first half, the clock does not stop. So if the Saints can score late, Lynn may not have time to get a shot off. Here's a screen for Fisher. Pulls up for three. Off the mark. Stick back is good, though.
Good follow.
And
well, Lynn threw a 1-3-1 going down with the clock winding down, and we went right underneath around the elbow. That's where the opening was. He took the jumper, back rim, and what a follow by Mr. Fisher.
Yeah.
Excuse me, not Fisher.
Trevor Smalls, on the miss by Fisher.
Right.
And a good job here taking a timeout. Again, it's also a use it or lose it timeout by Coach Sellen. So he wanted to plan out his defense here and not give up a last-second bucket. We got a lead right now, 52-50. Here's the other thing we got. We got a foul to give. We've committed 5 team fouls. If you commit a 6th, no harm. You commit a 7th, there's a 1-on-1. So we can afford to play really good defense here, force them to use some clock, and then if necessary, commit a foul before they get something off. Here's Iuli, right-hand side. And Oh, goodness. I know I'm biased, but I thought Mason Manning got that one clean. He was going the other direction.
That's a tough call. Mason did not swipe. He just put his hand in there and timed it perfectly. And Ioli had left the ball out away from his body. He did not have it protected.
Good news is that foul doesn't hurt, but 5 seconds left for the Knights to get off a shot here. Iuli takes it in, kicks it out. 3 balls on the way and short, and we'll go to the locker room with the Saints clinging to a 2-point lead. Boy, I thought that steal was clean by Manning, but no points resulted for Lynn. And we will go to the locker room with an action-packed first half. Boy, I tell you what, if you like offense, we had plenty of it tonight.
And I commend the Flagler defense because after Ioli got that little break, When the ball came back in, he went around the elbow screen, headed to the hoop, and I forget who was on him. It was Jax, but he got help, and they sealed him. He was not able to get a look at the rim, had to throw it to the perimeter, and the three-point shot was short. So we end up with the 2-point lead at the half.
Boy, what a first half of action here in St. Augustine. 52-50. Let's take a peek at the halftime stats. We'll also take a look at the Peach Belt Conference scoreboard as well, because we do have some other games that are going on tonight. Mostly women's games are going to be final in the Peach Belt. The men started around the same time as this game did at 7 o'clock. So I'll get an update on that scoreboard here in a second. But first, let's look at the scoreboard in the game we're focused on here. Both teams shooting it almost identically. Flagler is 19 out of 36 for 52.8%. Lynn is 20 out of 38 for 52.6%. 52.8 versus 52.6. So it's virtually identical. Flagler has made 10 three-pointers, 10 out of 18, and Lynn is only 8 of 21 from three-point area. So 55% versus 38%. That's helpful. And not a lot of free throws. The Saints have shot 4, they made them all. Lynn shot 3 and made 2 of the 3. And so with good scoring numbers from both teams, that's why we've got good point production. That's why we got a close competitive game. 52-50. Flagler leads it by 2 over Lynn University. Leading scorer for the Saints is Shackelford, has 18 points, including 4 three-pointers. The freshman is no longer playing like a freshman. It didn't take him long to grow up. It took about 4 games.
He looked very smooth, and I suspect that in the second half, Coach Sellen has really done a masterful job with using his bench and substituting and having different combinations out there. None of the Flagler players should be tired out, and I think when we get into the stretch run that you're going to see more of the Destin Clark, Jalen Jordan combination out there because Lynn, I don't think is outside of Jackson, who was out of his mind, the 3-ball shot is not their strength. But we have to stop that drive to the hoop. That is where they are excellent.
Yeah, when they were shooting it so well from 3, it's hard to not step out there, and then they want to drive the ball. That is what they want to do. They will shoot the 3 if it's open. There's no question about that. They've already shot 21 threes, 21 of their 38 shots, so more than 50% of their shots have been from three-point area. But, Jax is 4 out of 5. Carson Smith is 2 out of 8. And Iuli 1 for 4, Beath 0 for 1, Catton 0 for 1, and Price is 1 for 2. That's Lynn's 3-point field goal percentage. Again, back to the Flagler numbers. Shackelford the leader with 18. Herdlicka has 11. Clark has 8. Fisher has 8. Faulknight, a quiet night so far. Just 3 points for Jax and 2 for Jordan. That's a quiet night as well. And Smalls has 2, but it was a big 2 on a stick-back tip dunk in the latter stages of the first half. For the Fighting Knights, double figures from Iuli with 15, Jax with 14, Price has 5, Smith has 8, and Beath has 6. They've played 11 players. 6 guys came off the bench, but only 2 points out of those 6 players. Bergerson has a 2, and the other points all came from the starting 5. That's the depth that we were talking about earlier. Not just depth, but scoring depth, and that in-game, in-season game shape that maybe the Saints may have an advantage. Faulknight's played 9 minutes. Jordan's played 11. Destin Clark has played 11. Barely half of the first half. Whereas on the other side, Iuli's played 17 minutes. Price has played 16. Smith has played 14, and Beath has played 16. So most of their guys are grouped in. They've been out there the entire time, whereas the Saints have been able to spread it around a little bit. And I think, again, time will only tell. I think that could play to our advantage at this pace in the second half of the basketball game.
I agree, and I also think, as I mentioned with that Jordan-Clark combination, that we will get to the free throw line a little more. There were not that many free throws in the first half.
Yeah, the Saints shot 4.
Okay.
Shackelford shot all 4 of them. And the good news is he made all 4 of them. But only 4 free throws for Flagler, only 3 free throws for Lynn. So I'm not saying there was bad defense. It wasn't very physical. There weren't a lot of fouls called. and it was fair. It was fairly officiated. No harm to the officials. I would much rather a game with 7 free throws total in the first half than the other way around.
Well, as you said, this is the kind of exciting basketball that you enjoy watching.
Yeah. I don't know which game it was. It was earlier in the year. Maybe the first game of the season. And you know what? It wasn't even our game. It was the early game between USCB and Francis Marion, the first game of the year in this gym. Flagler wasn't part of it. You and I watched it because we were getting ready for the Saints to have their season opener. And I think there was like 52 fouls called or something, 27-25. It just seemed like the game took forever because the referees got more of a workout than anybody else blowing their whistles.
Well, it did. The second game didn't start until 45 minutes later than it was supposed to.
Yeah. So obviously USCB won that game, so they enjoyed it, I guess. But I don't know if anybody else did.
No.
We'd much rather watch this. Up and down the floor, make some shots, hit some threes, get some tip dunks, make some plays. And the officials are part of the game, but nobody came to watch them.
Well, to your point, UCSB scored in both nights 104 points. So let's hope Flagler, with 52 points in the first half, if they duplicate that effort in the second half and go to 104, I'm going to say they'll keep Lynn under 100.
Yeah, we're on pace right now. The Saints are averaging 90 points per game, so scoring has not been a struggle this year. And again, like you said, Coach, we're on pace for 104 if you can back that up. And I agree. If we can get to 100, I feel like our defense is going to hold Lynn to at least a 99 or less.
Exactly.
Let's take a look at that Peach Belt scoreboard while we have a split second here. I'm going to get my bag out of the way. The crowd continues to build, which is a good thing here. And so we're going to have some folks sitting with us, and there's nothing wrong with that. Peach Belt scoreboard here. So we got one final. It is in a women's game, and it's Lander with a win over North Greenville. That score 63-51. That game was played up at North Greenville in a little town they call Tigerville, and Lander gets that win. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, we'll run through this real quick and then we'll take a break. Other games that are going on: USC Aiken and Erskine are still in progress. Oh, just went final. Aiken wins it 79-67 in that game over Erskine. Over in Florence, South Carolina, on the campus of Francis Marion, we've got final score 61-60. Francis Marion beats Augusta. A 1-point win there for Francis Marion. In Milledgeville, Georgia College, the host tonight, and 14 seconds to go in a 2-point game. Right now, it is Georgia College on the short end to shorter, down 2 with 14 seconds. And then the final game, Clark Atlanta is playing a game there, and 49-41, Clark Atlanta and Clayton State. Clark Atlanta with an 8-point lead, 4:49 to play. That's the women's scoring update from the Peach Belt Conference. So we'll take a break, and we'll be right back here in just a little bit from St. Augustine.
How do you make history? In St. Augustine, Florida, Flagler College stands as a beacon where the lion-hearted can forge new paths. Here, your courage finds its name, and ambition finds its home. Inspired by the visionary Henry Flagler, you don't just learn, you create, innovate, and find where you truly belong. So how do you make history? It starts with you, right here. Flagler College, where history begins.
How about that Saints pep band, ladies and gentlemen? Sounds great tonight.
A lot of discussion about that. But anyway, now the hockey can stay in Hockey East, which is fantastic.
Okay, yeah.
But maybe that was one of the big things.
Yeah. Because
I think that the MAC schools play in another, like there's a hockey conference that a lot of the different.
Yeah. Yeah, hockey's a wild card in the way they're all. There's so few schools that offer it.
All right, welcome back to second half action in our men's basketball game tonight.
All right, back to second half action here in St. Augustine. Lynn will have the basketball first to crank things up here. Work it over to the far side corner. That's Jax. Drives in, looks for Beath. He couldn't handle the pass. Does corral it finally. And has to kick it back out. It's loose on the floor, picked up by Ioli. His runner is no good. Tipped around and back to Ioli, and he'll stick it in and tie the ball game at 52 apiece.
Boy, I'm going to give Beef a lot of credit. He hung in there, and he tipped that ball away from the two Saint rebounders.
Destin Clark takes it all the way to the rack. He couldn't finish, though, and Lynn will come the other way. Chance for the Fighting Knights to take the lead. Jax, now Beef. Off to Price. Kicks it out to Jax, near side triple is short, no good. Bucknight rebounds for the Saints. 52 apiece, here comes Flagler. Bucknight into Jalen Jordan. Backs into Beef, gets deep, spins with the left hand, little baby hook is good. Very similar to the little left hand baby hook Jordan made in the first half. He converts another, and the Saints reclaim the lead.
That was a clinic. That's how you move a defender one way and use that hook coming the other way.
Price went out of bounds. He tried to get deep. He went around Destin Clark, and Clark is just so wide, when you go around him, you're out of bounds. Yeah, it was a really good post move by Jordan. He didn't force it, didn't go too quickly. Couple of crawl dribbles, got deep enough for that, maybe about 8-foot, 9-foot baby hook. Looking for Jordan again. Don't force it. That's Hoku Fisher. Now he finds him. Same spot. Another left-hander off the window this time is good. Back-to-back buckets for Jalen Jordan.
And I think we talked about that at halftime, that the Saints were maybe adjusting their shots inside when they didn't have to. And the patience you're talking about is paying off.
Jax answers back the other way for Lynn. Saints got caught in a switch. There's a lob for Jordan, and then we got a hold. If that's on Beef, that's his third personal. Let's see. 3-0 is the call. I think that's his third. Scoreboard only shows 2, so we'll check and make sure. I thought he got 2 in the first half. No, I'm sorry, he didn't. It was Jax that picked up 2 in the first half, not Beef. Here's Herdlicka for 3. Speaking of 3, 59-54, Herdlicka's got the touch tonight. Iuli penetrating kick near side. 3 balls in and out this time. Jordan rips down the rebound for the Saints. Jax shot the 3 incredibly well in the first half, and he's 0 for 2 here in the second. Here comes Jordan down the paint, got too deep, got away with a travel, and puts it up with the left hand.
I think they gave him the benefit of the doubt there because the guard reached in and knocked the ball out of his hand, so I think they're saying he didn't have possession. But a great putback.
Here's Iuli up high. Cut off by Jordan. Backs and kicks. 3-point attempt on the way. Oh, picked up by Iuli. Pump fake in and rattles it home.
And that's a tough one.
Yeah, the Saints are giving up too many offensive rebounds right now. We do have a timeout taken by Coach Bill Morosco. He'll burn a 30-second timeout, and he'll use a 30, but the first called timeout of the second half in men's basketball automatically converts to a full timeout. So a full timeout here. 17:02 to go in the ballgame, 61-56. Coach, both teams made adjustments at halftime. What do you see so far here in the second frame?
Well, the Flagler defense is playing much closer to the floor. Lynn is starting to throw up some threes. They have not shown me the ability to go inside and challenge Clark and Jordan. On the other end, we got 2 nice baskets from Jalen Jordan inside. They collapsed a little bit, and then Herdlicka looked like he did when he hit the first one of the game. He put another pure 3 down. So we've expanded it in the first 3 minutes to a 5-point lead. Let's see if what we can do over the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's that careful what you wish for sort of thing. Throw it inside, all right, we'll hit the little hook shot. Throw it inside, you double team, we're kicking it out to Herdlicka. You got to be able to do both of those things equally, and then if you're on defense for Lynn, pick your poison. What do you want to do? And obviously we're not going to hit every shot, but we're off to a great start here in the second half, hitting about 80% of our shots so far. 61-56, Saints up 5. Just 3 minutes into the second half here, 17:02, as Jax Bucknight gets the basketball. Good ball pressure here by Antoine Jax. Bucknight creates some space. Here's Jordan up high. Bucknight off the screen. They switch it. He'll go in and cut off there by Beef. Leans and kicks to Herdlicka, then gets it back. Jack's going in against Beef, throws it up off the window and rattles it home. Over the 6'8" Leo Beef. There's Iuli going inside. He finds Jax, and we got to reach in on the Saints. I think it's on Balknight.
What an athletic move that Jax made. Now, he beat Beef clearly there, but you cannot underestimate Beef's length. He managed to get back in the play. He almost blocked that shot. I thought maybe there was some body contact in there, but a great basket by Jax.
Here's Carson Smith off the left side. Back out to Beef, who thought about a triple. Go to Iuli. He'll work against Jordan. Back to Beef, a long three. Left it short, long rebound out of bounds. The Saints went under the screen, said, hey, Beef, if you think you can hit the three, we'll give it to you. And he missed it.
Now, he was 3 of 9 in that first and only game they played so far. So he can hit the three, but consistency is a question.
Three back the other way for the Saints. They can't hit it. That's a miss by Mason Manning, and here come the Knights the other way. Antoine Jax. And got a shot clock issue. It's on 12 seconds, and it's clearly not that low. It didn't reset after that missed three-pointer by the Saints. So they're going to get the shot clock issue taken care of, and just timing-wise, it works out. The referee did a good job. He recognized the shot clock, but now we're under 16, so we go to immediate timeout.
Well, and also fortuitous for the Saints because Jax did that little stutter step, and it's almost impossible not to fall for it. And
Yeah.
he was by his man, maybe going for the layup when they stopped for the clock issue.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think the Knights are frustrated at the stoppage in the middle of their play. And it's interesting as a broadcaster, I'm having to really focus. You've got two of the best point guards we've seen all year, Antoine Jax and Jax Balknight.
Yeah.
So it's Jax on Jax.
Exactly.
We like to call Balknight by his first name, Jax, sometimes, and of course Antoine Jax is the point guard for Lynn. So we're gonna have to be careful of who we're referring to here. Antoine Jax is the young man out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and then Jax Balknight, the Saints point guard. We'll try to refer to him as Balknight a little bit more here in the ball game tonight. That'll help our listeners out. Yeah, I mentioned Antoine Jax at a Good Counsel High School. They play in the WCAC, a great private school league in the Washington, D.C. area. If you follow basketball at all, the name DeMatha High School and the great Morgan Wooten, everybody knows DeMatha. Well, that's the league. Good Counsel, DeMatha, Georgetown Prep, Bullis Prep, Gonzaga, St. John's Prep.
Fabulous.
Great high school basketball in the Washington, D.C. area. There's Beef with some great high school basketball moves by a college player right there. Just backed it down, similar to Jordan's move inside. Nicely done. Here's a three-pointer for the Saints. Wide open there, Trevor Smalls. Smalls checked into the game, and I think the Knights got mixed up on who was guarding who. No one was guarding Trevor Smalls.
Well, they weren't ready for him to take a three. They've seen everybody else, but I believe that was Trevor's first shot attempt, other than that great follow-up dunk that he made on the offensive rebound.
Carson throws it inside. Carson Smith throws it in. They kick it back out. Here's Iuli working against Jordan. Little 8-foot floater rattles it home. He is a tough matchup there. Brandon Iuli, Menlo College transfer, originally from Perth, Australia. Skip pass there, Smalls again. Pump fake, man flies by. Back this way to Hoku. Round the corner to Herdlicka. Three ball's good. Great ball movement. Diagonal pass, got it back, baseline pass. The defense was one step behind the entire time.
It looked like a practice drill. It was so clean.
Here's Price going in, kicking out. There's Beef for three. Off the heel, Manning rips down the rebound for the Saints. Almost got tied up, keeps ripping and gets out of trouble there. He's got Hoku to his right. Manning across the timeline goes left to Smalls. Back to Manning. He'll back it off. Good patience here. They recognize the 1-3-1, get into their zone offense. Smalls a diagonal dribble and tries to throw it to Hoku Fisher, and a mix-up there, miscommunication. Smalls thought that Fisher should stay in the baseline corner. Instead, Fisher cut baseline, and Smalls threw it to where he was, not where he was going to be.
Mason Manning made a very intelligent move. He grabbed that long rebound and was ready to bolt down court. Lynn is very good at flagging the rebounder, whether it's low, high, or whatever. and he pulled up and put an arm wrestle and ripped it out of there. And there were a couple occasions in the first half also. You really need to take care of that rebound.
Ayuli throws it away there for Lynn. Similar to what happened with the Saints. Turnabout is fair play, I guess. Ayuli thought his guy was going to pop to the corner. Instead, he cut baseline, and almost identical. An unforced error there by both teams. And with 14:03 to go here in the basketball game, it is 69-60. The Saints have pushed it to a 9-point cushion in an entertaining game here thus far tonight in St. Augustine. Back to the 1-3-1 zone. Saints recognize it. Go in the corner to Manning. It's poked away, but and then stolen by Jacks. Here he goes at full speed, the length of the floor. Takes it into Smalls, and Smalls is just too big. Trevor Smalls, 6'5". Antoine Jacks, 5'10". Easily able to block that shot out of bounds.
That was a great defensive move by Trevor. In fact, Jacks gave him a good little shoulder shove when he fell away, and Jacks and Trevor stayed right with him.
Throw it inside to Vic. He's tied up and then stripped, but couldn't get it.
That's Trevor Smalls again.
Yeah, Smalls is playing big right now. Great defense.
That was a bad matchup. He was guarded by Hoku, clear height advantage. So if Trevor had not been able to rip that ball out, they probably would have either gone to the line or got an easy layup.
Yeah, that was Austin Vick who had the basketball. 6'8" and 230. He's a tough matchup for virtually anybody other than Jalen Jordan on the court for the Saints right now. Here's Beath, right-hand side against Herdlicka. Pounds it down, kicks it out. Back to Jacks on the perimeter. Smalls extends the defense. Gets it back. Pump fake, nobody bites. Puts up a prayer three. Very short. Rebound to Jalen Jordan. Great defense by Trevor Smalls. That trip down the floor.
And they had to throw it up. There was only 4 seconds left on the shot clock.
And Jordan couldn't convert there. He almost threw a pass to himself off the backboard and tried to stick it back in, but it came up empty. There's Price, crossover. Take it to the elbow and kick off to the near side for a three-point attempt. It's good from Carson Smith. Knights hadn't scored in quite a while. 69-63, Saints by 6. Herdlicka open for three. Off the mark, Jordan rebounds, back up with the left hand and puts it in.
Big offensive rebound.
Jalen Jordan's having a great second half. Here's Jacks, screen and roll inside to Vic. His runner is no good, but the body called on Trevor Smalls. That was the right call. There was enough of a body bump as they came through. And Fighting Knights will go to the free throw line. 2 shots coming, so the subs at the table have to wait. Protocol for college basketball is the subs check in between the free throws. So 1 shot and then the subs. And it's good from Austin Vick. Both subs for the Saints will come in. Destin Clark and Josiah Shackelford. The Lynn sub is Braden Ayuli, and there's one more in Sven Bergeson, but he is coming in for the shooter. So if Vic makes the free throw, the sub will check in. If not, it's a live ball, and we'll go back to basketball. It is not good, so we will wait for Bergeson, and he'll stay at the table.
So Destin Clark has come in for Jalen Jordan. Let's see what happens now with...
Back to the 1-3-1, so Clark goes to the high post. And the Saints play 4 out, 1 in for now in this zone offense. They go to Clark at the high post. Back out to Smalls. Couldn't catch it and get the shot off quickly, but he does take it now, and it's no good. Rebound ripped down by Osei Price. Ayuli right-hand side, cut off by Shackelford. Now they switch it. Throw it back around to Price. Comes off a screen, takes it in, no good. Rebound, last touch by the Saints. It'll stay with Lynn. That'll take us to our under 12 media. 71-64. It's Saints by 7 right now. 11:46 to play. This is the under 12 media timeout. And second half hasn't been quite as strong offensively as the first. Both teams have cooled off shooting a little bit, but the Saints have played well here in the second half. They lead it by 7.
It looked like at one point we were going to get that little bit of distance. We had taken that 5-point lead, and by the 14-minute mark, had it to 9, but we haven't been able to kind of push. But it's gone 9-7, 9-7, and now it's at 7. So let's see what happens. See if we can get a stop on this out of bounds on the baseline that Lynn has.
Yeah, Lynn has cooled off to 40% from the field in the second half, 6 out of 15. They're just 1 for 7 from 3, and that's the difference right now. The Saints have really not cooled off. I misspoke saying that the shooting has cooled off a bit. They're actually at 57%, up from 53, but we turned the ball over a few more times in the second half, so we only have 14 shots here in the first 8 minutes or so. But the lead has grown from 2 to 7, and it's 71-64 in favor of Flagler. 3 players in double figures. Shackelford continues to lead with 18. Verdlicka has 17, and Jalen Jordan has 10. For Lynn, Iuli with 21, Carson Smith with 11, and Jax with 16 for the Fighting Knights.
So we've got an interesting combination for the Saints out there now. I haven't seen this one. Clark, Shackelford, Manning, Jax Bachknight, and Hoku Fisher. So
here's Iuli, turns the corner against Shackelford and dribbled it out of bounds, last touched by Shackelford. Lynn also got John Rowland, a 6'7 freshman, in the game. He got 6 points in their inaugural game and hasn't played yet tonight, so I don't know too much about him, but he's in there now, a true freshman. Hands the ball off to Antoine Jax. Sets a screen for Jax. Switch it, and they'll say that screen was moving.
Good call.
John Rowland, the freshman out of Coral Springs, didn't have to travel far to go to college. Coral Springs right around the corner from Boca.
And I attribute part of that. Jax played off just enough because he knows that Jax, the Lynn player, is so quick. And by virtue, when he went to go around, the screener had to move. And that's a good call by the referee.
Here's Shackelford left wing into Clark. Pumps, man flies by, throws it up, and throws it in. That is a veteran move right there. Destin Clark attacked the freshman, John Rowland, and he got the young fella to bite.
You just called it, John. He came in the game, and now Beats coming back in, or Austin Vick is coming back in.
Yeah, Vick's going to check in. Vick, a sophomore, is a returning player for Lynn and much more veteran presence than the young fellow Rowland. And Clark converts the 3, and the Saints go up 10. Double digits, 74-64 at the 11-10 mark. Iuli, out high Price. Back to Jax. Takes it in against Bachknight. Partially blocked by Bachknight. Rebound, Hoku Fisher.
Great help from underneath because Jax saw he couldn't get to the rim, and he tried to pull up for that jump shot and couldn't execute it.
Shackelford wraps it around to Hoku Fisher, then drives and kicks. Manning, 3-ball, perfect. Great ball movement.
What a great pass from the short corner by Shackelford, diagonally right through the paint, bang.
There's Price, spins with space, tacks it in against Bachknight and puts it up and through. Nice ball reversal there by the number 0, Osei Price. Here's Jax Bachknight for 3. Perfect. Release, rotation, splash. That was textbook form. Ahead of the pack with a lob inside for Lynn. Kick it out to Vick for a long 3-ball, and it's good. Here we go, trading buckets again. Austin Vick trails the play and knocks home the 3-ball.
Boy, that's tough when you've got a 6'8 player that has that kind of confidence.
Into Clark. Pump fake, up with the right hand, left it short. Good rebound by Vick. Hit the 3, then played good post defense. Here goes Price, coast to coast inside. Got Shackelford off his feet, and I thought that ball was riding on the hip of the Lynn player when he landed out of bounds. It was blocked and touched by Shackelford, but the ball basically was in the belly of the Lynn player when he landed on the black paint.
I was surprised he didn't ask for a little help from the outside referee.
And,
okay.
Hey, ball don't lie, right?
Okay.
Lynn tried to inbound the ball, threw it over the head of Price, out of bounds, and the ball will go to the Saints. Bachknight argued his case, but did it professionally, and didn't get a technical or even a warning from the referee, and the ball goes back to Flagler. Lynn going to jump into their zone again. Here's Hoku Fisher up high. This time it's a 2-3 as opposed to the 1-3-1. High post. Backdoor cutter down to Shackelford. Up and in. Good look from Destin Clark and a good finish to the freshman Shackelford. Saints by 13.
And what I really liked about that, Destin early on this year, some of those passes, he didn't quite have the touch. That was a superb pass to Shackelford.
Here's Bucknight going a little too quick. He'll back it off and slow himself down. That's a veteran play right there. High post again into Clark. Looks for a helper. Finds Bucknight. Catch, shoot, 3-ball, in and out, unlucky. Last touch by Lynn. It'll stay with the Saints. Shackelford harassing in there. Didn't get the ball, but he forced the Lynn guy to touch it out of bounds.
And let's give Shackelford some credit after he got the pass from Clark. He didn't rush the shot up there. He did a little up fake and got Vic off the ground, and then he was able to get it up off the glass without getting his shot blocked.
He waited perfectly for Vic to be on the way down because gravity took over, kind of leaned into him a little bit to make sure there was enough space, and then able to kiss it softly off the window. And the Saints lead it by 13 here, 8:56 to play, 82-69. Flagler by 13 over Lynn. And this has been an outstanding basketball game from both sides, but especially for the home team Saints here leading it 82-69.
And I'd like to credit this lineup that I mentioned that Coach Sellen sent out. Their defense has been really good. And I'm not talking about anyone individual. I'm talking about their cohesiveness, the help to cut off the drives, the boxing out, and on getting the defensive rebounds. So I attribute that to being able to get this lead up to 13.
Yeah, I think the other thing that goes unnoticed with this team out here defensively, Coach, that there's great communication going on. Whether we're going under the screen, over the screen, who we're switching, who we're not, you don't hear it because the crowd is so loud, but you can see the players' mouths moving and the adjustments are being made on the fly because there's wonderful communication going on. Destin Clark will trigger for the Saints. He'll come into Bucknight, a little back dribble as they've gone back to the 1-3-1. Clark up and under and kick. Swing it one more time. Bucknight, 3-ball. Got it.
All the way. Great ball movement again. And I like that Destin Clark didn't force anything inside.
Beath up high, goes over here to Price. Back to Beath and around the horn to Iuli. Drop for Carson Smith. Good switch on the screen there. He'll attack and kick near side to Price for 3. Off the mark, but rebounded by Vic. Back up and under and good. Good offensive rebound there by Austin Vic.
And we played great defense. I mean, that was a long shot clock, and we had them down into single digits.
Manning, post feed, Destin Clark. Pump, wrap around with the left, and good. Boy, whether you go right or go left, he is ambidextrous.
Well, he brought that one down to his waist on the left-hand side and brought it up and over.
Here's Carson Smith for 3. Off the mark, no good. Destin Clark rebounds and pushes the other direction. 1-on-4, spins past one defender and wraps it back out here to Manning. Kicks to the corner, swing it to Shackelford, and unlucky there. He got Beath high in the air and came down on top of Shackelford, and we'll get a foul called. No shooting foul, but there is a foul on Beath, and that will now be his third. I tried to give him his third earlier. I was mistaken. That's his third with 7:41 to play. We're at the under 8 media, and it's 87-71. The Saints are quietly starting to pull away a little bit.
That's a great phrase, and it's all attributable to the defense that they're playing, plus the great ball movement. This is fun to watch.
It really is. Unselfish play.
That one play, I want to go back to review it. Jax had the ball on the left side of the court. He made a great entry pass to Destin, who turned and faced the basket, looked like he was going to shoot, shot it to the left corner to Shackelford. Destin cleared the lane. Shackelford drove like he was going to go baseline. They started to collapse. He threw a diagonal pass out to Jax, who nailed it. I mean, it was a fabulous ball movement.
Absolutely textbook ball movement. They're going to enjoy watching that one on the film tomorrow. And, one of the things that's going to go kind of unnoticed by a lot of people, when Destin Clark got the ball in deep, he caught it on the block. He was really looking to shoot the ball initially, and he knew he was well defended. Sometimes when you get caught in the paint, it's a 3-second clock. Your mind goes a lot faster. You think after a second and a half you're gonna get called for a turnover, and you just panic sometimes. Destin Clark, there's no panic in his vocabulary. He was very patient, kicked it properly, and then, as you said, Shackelford and Bucknight and everybody else got involved, and ultimately 3 points on the scoreboard for the Saints. Here's Clark again at the high post. Takes it into a double team, and did he touch it last? They say he did not. Carson Smith reached in there and poked it away. I thought for a minute they were going to say that Clark touched it, but it'll stay with the Saints. Only 6 on the shot clock, so we need to recognize this. Change the play here on the inbounds to something a little bit quicker. Bucknight looking for Hoku. He'll go in, right back to Jacks in the corner. He'll go baseline, try to dish it off and turn it over. Jack should have shot it the first time, I think. Here comes Price the other direction. Coast-to-coast runner. It's good the other way for Osei Price.
Now, we haven't heard a lot from him tonight, but that was a great coast-to-coast layup.
Hoku in, Manning under, kick it out. Shackelford, 3 ball, good. Again, in and out. Penetrate and pitch.
Has Shackelford hit the rim tonight, or is he just tearing the nets up?
He is playing like a veteran player right now. And missed runner that time by the Fighting Knights, but a rebound to Beef. I get a foul called on the Saints here. Going to go on.
They're giving it to Jacks.
They're giving it to Jacks. That's his 4th personal, according to the scoreboard. So he's going to have to get out of there with 6:43 to go in the ball game with 4 personal fouls. They'll get Herdlicka back in there. So you get better size, but lose some foot speed. So you're going to have to rearrange the matchups here. They come into Antoine Jacks. Off to Beef. He's going to attack Hoku Fisher with a spin move. Get weak side help from Jalen Jordan.
Great help.
Didn't block it, but provided enough of a scare that they missed the runner. And the Saints will slow it down. Good decision. Up 17 with 6.5 to play. Hoku down low to Shackelford. Out high Herdlicka. Back to Hoku. Lean and too strong. Stick back. Good for Jalen Jordan. Antoine Jacks wastes no time. Takes it front court. Drops for Price. Gets it back off of a screen. Price, top of the circle. Smith on the interchange. Floater, left it short. Another rebound for Jalen Jordan. Off to Manning. He'll slow it down once again. Good patience. This is veteran play here by Manning at the point guard spot.
I think that's the key, that word you just used, patience. From the jump ball at the beginning of the game, Flagler has played with great patience.
We're going to get a alley-oop to Jalen Jordan. He got undercut shooting the basketball. He should go to the free throw line, I believe. Foul's going to go on 0. That's Osei Price. And let's see if they called it on the shot. Yes, they did. I thought so.
On the other end, John, I want to go back to that last miss by Carson Smith. Josiah Shackelford did a great job staying in front of him, and he went straight up, did not try to reach forward and block the shot, which is probably going to end up in a foul. And he was up there hanging that Carson Smith had to release the ball, and he just rimmed it. It wasn't a good shot.
Yeah, the principle of verticality was on display right there. Excellent defense without taking the karate chop. Here comes the Saints the other way, 3-on-2. Shackelford, a runner, blocked by Beef. Good defense there by the 6'8" Beef. Here come the Knights the other way quickly. Corner 3 on the way for Lynn. Off the mark. Rebound to Hoku Fisher. And 2 hands in the air. He's not calling play 55. Selland is saying, slow down. 5 minutes to play. The lead is 21. It's 94-73. Here's Herdlicka all the way to the basket. A little too quick there. Thought the penetrating pitch could have found a man in the corner. Instead, the Knights come the other way. Here's Price, cross court, kick out to Heath for 3. In and out, rebound Jalen Jordan.
Well, the good news is we're forcing them into the three-point shots. And as we said, that's not the best part of their game. On the other end, I want to go back to see some ball movement that we had that got us to this 21-point lead.
Here's a little dribble interchange. Shackelford got it left wing. Here's Jalen Jordan. Attacks into the two defenders. Left-hand hook, good. He lost the ball, but gathered it and looked like perfect footwork to bury the baby hook.
Well, I got to give Jalen Jordan some credit there. I don't know how he managed to get the ball back. That Carson Smith is a real pest. He got his hand in and knocked the ball away, but Jalen reached out and was able to recover it and then make a nice, smooth left-handed hook shot.
Sometimes you talk about a quick release. That was a quick gather and shoot. And there's a two-hand flush for Jordan with a shove in the back from Sven Bergeson. And the Saints got it going right now, 98-73. Up 25 with 3:42 to go. And, sometimes you get lucky. And sometimes you just know what you're talking about, Coach. You said we can get to 100. I don't think they're going to get there. I'm not saying they're not going to get to 100. I don't think they're going to.
No.
But right now, we're on the verge of triple digits and up 25, 98-73. The halftime analysis, spot on.
What a great pass, Mason Manning. That alley-oop, and they made the mistake of getting on the front side of Jalen Jordan. He finished that off, and then they made the bigger mistake of trying to shove him under the basket, so now we've got an and one.
Yeah. I'm not sure I can find, oftentimes as a coach or as a teacher, you're always looking for opportunities for growth and areas for improvement. And this hasn't been a perfect game. Don't get me wrong. No one's ever going to have a perfect game. Well, I tell you what, though, a lot of weapons, a lot of outstanding play tonight, the extra pass, the communication on defense. When Blake and the staff go through and evaluate, how do we do tonight? It's not over yet, but I'm putting it down as an A+ right now.
Well, they've got a board with about 10 categories on it, and so the way it rolls is you win 6 of those categories, you're probably going to win the game. Well, they might have a clean sweep tonight.
I don't know what their 10 categories are, but I'm not sure which one we're going to fail at.
It's number 23, Jalen Jordan.
Jordan at the free throw line, shooting one to convert the old-fashioned three-point play.
Nice.
And he does. And we got a sub coming in for Jalen. Destin Clark will come in the ball game for him. So it's Clark, Herdlicka, Shackelford, Hoku Fisher, and Mason Manning.
And what a clean game Jalen has played. Here we are with a little 3.5 minutes left. He does not have one foul.
Three-point attempt rims out for Carson Smith. Rebound to the Saints. Shackelford rips that one down, and Manning will walk it front court.
And likewise, Destin Clark only has one.
There's a double team. They find Shackelford, who finds Clark. Goes baseline against Ayuli. Spin and get partially blocked. Gets his own rebound. Back up. Misses again. And this time it's rebounded by Carson Smith. Finds Ayuli in transition over to Smith, over to Price. Backs in, kicks out. Ayuli for three. In and out, no good. Another rebound for Shackelford. Under 3 to play, 99-73. The next basket for the Saints will give us that triple digits. Shackelford tries to throw it cross court. Got his arm hit by one of the Lynn players there defensively. That changed the trajectory of the ball. I don't think they touched the ball, so it didn't go off of them, but they definitely hit his arm, which is probably should have been called a foul, but instead it'll go to the Fighting Knights.
Now, when you talk about perfection, when Destin was inside, didn't make the first one, got a tremendous offensive rebound. He's surrounded by 3 people. Shackelford standing out here by himself. Wouldn't you have loved to see that ball come out and another nothing but net from Josiah?
Here's Price, puts up a 3 ball, no good. Rebound to Manning. I was expecting the ball to come out. You're exactly right.
But, I mean, I'll give credit to Destin. He deserved it with all the work he did.
Spray it out that time. Finds Manning. Patience here with shot clock on 16. To spread the floor against this run and jump defense. There's Shackelford far side. He'll attack and kick over here to Herdlicka. Catch and shoot three is short. Rebound tapped out. Shackelford gets bumped by Smith. And a good offensive rebound there by Shackelford.
How about not one Saint was standing and spectating? All right, the passes were moving, everyone's moving. We missed the shot, and the only reason we got the offensive rebound is because Josiah never stopped hustling.
Yeah.
And then he gets fouled.
Up 26 or up 6, doesn't matter. They're playing the same pace.
Yes.
Shackelford's 1-1 gives the Saints an even 100 points, 100-73 with 2:01 to play. He does miss the second one. His first miss from the free throw line tonight. Under 2 minutes, Saints by 27. Antoine Jacks high off the window and good. And timeout taken by Coach Morosco.
That might be his first basket in the second half. We have
not heard much from Antoine Jacks in the second half. You're right.
It's the defense. So we have 1:50 left in the game. Lynn with 75 points, which means we have only given up 25 points in 18 minutes and 10 seconds of play in the second half. Now, that's defense.
Yeah, it's hard to believe this game was 52-50 at halftime when you see Lynn with only 75. Yeah, let me see if I can get Jacks. Yeah, he's got 18 for the game. Not sure if I can just pull up a first half box for him or not. Yeah, I think that's his first field goal of the second half. I think you're right. Manning into a double team. Able to get it front court to Herdlicka, over to Clark. He goes for the dunk, doesn't get it. Here comes Antoine Jacks racing coast to coast, and he's got a back-to-back bucket. Double team coming again. Hoku Fisher steps through, goes cross court to Manning. Clears the timeline, down low to Fisher. Takes it in, floats, hangs, bangs it in there off of Vic.
That was pretty. Great help. Now, what a terrific move by Hoku. That stutter step, and he thought he was going through. Hoku stepped over to help and stripped him.
Saints will go to the bench. And a round of applause from, I believe that's mostly the men's lacrosse team over there to our left. Brandon Carney, Brandon Seldumridge, and Jack Carter check into the ball game. Fighting Knights will go to the bench, get Leo Beef out of there for J.P. Barron. 102-77 with 1:13 to play. Saints are going to win this when they go to 4-1. Jack's right baseline all the way under and kicks cross court to Barron. He'll attack in for a floater, and it's good.
Layup is good by number 15, J.P. Barron for the Knights.
Here's Fisher across the timeline, splits two defenders and sprays it over far side. Left hand three ball off the mark. Rebound, pump fake, back up and blocked but fouled. And Brandon Seldumridge will get a chance to shoot some free throws.
Fouls on number 5, Carson Smith. Stepping to the foul line for the Saints.
Lynn is going to go ahead and clear the bench on their side. And free throw no good for Seldumridge. Noah Catton, Jordan Wilkins, and John Rowland check in for the Fighting Knights. One more free throw coming for Seldumridge here, trying to get his name into the scorebook. And he went 0 for 2, unfortunately. Lynn quickly the other way. Catton from Barron, a little two-man game up high. Barron shoots the three, and it's good. J.P. Barron's got 5 here in the last 30 seconds. 102-82. Shot clock, game clock, about a 2-second differential, so the Saints do have to shoot it one more time. Down low underneath, wrap around, it's good. Seldumridge has got his first 2 points of the season.
Good to see that. The crowd loved it.
Wilkins puts up a long 3-ball and knocks it home for Lynn.
Well, those 2 threes for Lynn, those are the first 2. I think they had missed 7 or 8 straight that we had forced them to take.
Boy, heck of a performance tonight here by the Saints. I got to put this one down as the best all-around performance of the season. And it was a nice performance against Spring Hill, I think it was, right? That Monday night game.
Yes.
That was a good game. We played well that night. This was a better opponent and a better performance tonight.
Much better opponent, and some of the recruits that the new coach has brought in, I mean, they can play, and as you pointed out, they're from Division I.
Yeah.
And here we go. We put 52 points up in the first half, and we put 52 points up in the second half. So what are you going to criticize?
Consistent right there, right?
Fantastic.
Looks like the stats have the stats in the scoreboard. Oh, there they go. They just got it updated. It said 106 to 83. I think a bucket was given to Flagler that should have been given to Lynn, and now they've updated it. So I'm gonna hit the refresh button to it says there it goes. 104 to 85. Let's look at the numbers here. The Saints put 6 players in double figures, led by the freshman Shackelford with 24. Jordan had 19 and 13, another double-double. Hoku Fisher had 10, Herdlicka had 17, Clark had 13, and Jax Bucknight had 11. Smalls had 5, Manning had 3, and Seldom Ridge got 2 off the bench. As the Saints matched 53% in the first half with 55% in the second half. And offensively, just an impressive all-around performance. No other way to describe it. For Lynn, Iuli finished with 21 to lead the Fighting Knights. Jax had 20. Smith had 11. Price had 9. Beath had 8. Wilkins had 3. Barron had 5. Vick had 6. And Bergeson had 2. Overall, Lynn was 53% in the first half, cooled off to 40% in the second, and they were 4 for 18 from long distance, just 22%. That was the difference here in the second half. And the Saints, just an outstanding performance all the way around tonight. The first half 52, the second half 52, and they win it by 19 over Lynn tonight. Coach, final comments on what was an outstanding performance by the Saints men's basketball team tonight.
I just loved the different combinations that we saw on the floor. The defense was excellent, team defense. And then on the offensive end, as we mentioned a little bit ago, everybody's moving. There's no spectating. We end up with 6 players in double figures. We end up with offensive rebounds in the second half. And inside, we really hurt them. I don't think that they got more than 1 or 2 baskets from their post players inside. They may have made a couple of jumpers. Mm-hmm. Plus the fact that we had a hand in their face on their three-pointers in the second half, and you just quoted that they were, 4 of 18 or 3?
4 of 18, yeah, 22%.
Yeah,
so
just
an all-around great performance in the second half. Here's another one for you. The Saints had 22 assists tonight as a team and 39 field goals. So more than 50% of the baskets had an assist attributed to them. So it's not just, take the ball and create your own shot. It was team offense. And also, the other stat I'll look at is turnovers. Only 9 for the game. 22 assists to 9 turnovers. As a team, oftentimes, you look, if you can just have a positive assist to turnover, just a few more assists than you have turnovers. As a team, that's usually pretty good. Tonight, 22 to 9. It was a almost 2.3 assists for every turnover. That's going to be a fun film session tomorrow.
Well, I want to be an ear in the locker room right now.
Yeah, we should just go in there and crash the party right now because they would probably welcome us. Everybody's in a good mood right now. Yeah. They wouldn't care if we came in. But, hey, tip of the cap to Coach Sellen and the entire coaching staff for a great game plan and for the players for executing it. So it was a good night here in St. Augustine, 104 to 85 in favor of the Flagler College men. They knock off Lynn the Fighting Knights out of Boca Raton, a member of the Sunshine State Conference. And real quickly, I probably should have said something sooner. Congrats to both the men's and women's soccer teams here at Flagler. Both have earned bids to the NCAA tournament earlier this week. Selection show was on Monday night, and both the men and the women, their postseason runs will continue. And best of luck to them. They both play this weekend in the first round of the NCAA regionals. And the volleyball team is also in action. They are in Peach Belt Conference tournament this weekend. And with some success this weekend, the Saints volleyball team has a chance to make a regional bid as well. Regional rankings came out earlier today, and if my memory serves me correctly, the Saints are 5th in the region. And so that's a good spot. It's no guarantee, but that's a good spot. Just have to have a good performance this weekend at the Peach Belt tournament, and then hopefully make another postseason run. That's what it's all about. At the end of the year, you want to keep playing. Whether it's November, December, or in the sport of basketball into March, postseason is what it's all about. And tonight, the Saints men look like a postseason team. They played a great game tonight, and they get the win over Lynn. Final score again, 104-85. For Coach Joe Harding, I'm John Phillips. Good night from St. Augustine as the Saints fans are going home happy tonight. We'll see you next time here on the Peach Belt Digital Network.